don't be afraid of just staying in your lane and focusing on a particular look, a particular style. Ask yourself, like, how do you want people to think of you and think of your business? What do you want them to say about you?
All right. I'm Rebecca Hay, and I've built a successful interior design business by trial and error, podcasts, online courses, and so many freaking books. Over the last decade, I've grown from an insecure student to having false starts to careers, and now I'm finally in the place where I want to be. Throughout my journey, it's been pretty obvious that I'm passionate about business and helping other entrepreneurs do the same. Each week, I'll share tangible takeaways from my own experience and the experiences of other badass women to help you build your confidence and change your business.
Hey, it's Rebecca, and you're listening to Resilient by Design. Today's shorty episode is so inspiring. I chat with Anika Schachtler of Montreal, Quebec, and she is a young designer to watch. She has niched her business down to be super specific. She specializes in renovating and restoring farmhouses and cottages from the 1800s and 1900s. She has a deep passion for preserving the historical integrity of old homes while integrating modern comforts, and she brings a unique blend of tradition and creativity to her design. In today's episode, we talk about how she ended up being so super niche and the power of leaning into that. I love that Anika is also a Power of Process alumni. She talks about the specific things that she took away from the course. Listen for how much she charges. She completely overhauled what she charges for her services. It will blow your mind. She is wise beyond her years. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with Anika. Welcome to Resilient by Design, Anika. I'm very excited to have you here. Why don't you start off by introducing yourself to our listeners?
I'm excited to be here too. Thank you for having me. So I'm an interior designer based just outside of Montreal, Quebec, and I specialize in renovating and restoring farmhouses and cottages from the 1800s and the 1900s.
Okay, this is so interesting. When I read this, I didn't realize this because you've been in Power of Process and I've seen you and you've been part of the community, but I did not know that was your niche. And I freaking love that. Can we just have a moment to talk about how you landed there? How did you end up just being so specific with your construction projects?
It really all started when I was younger. I was always fascinated by old farmhouses and the stories that they hold. But it really wasn't until we renovated our own 1830s farmhouse that it really hit me, the importance of preserving elements within our home and really just holding on to the history of an old home like this. So that's really when I developed my passion and really started to just focus on these types of projects.
So do you find having such a specific niche, is it hard to find clients? Where do you find your clients? And then what happens if someone asks you for work or asks you to design for them and they don't fall into this specific category?
Oh, that's a good question. So I would say the main way I've found clients is really super not shiny. It's really simple. It's just I develop relationships with cabinet makers, tile installers, electricians, and they refer me work and I refer them work. So it's pretty straightforward. Also, my clients will refer me to their friends, their family, and I have social media. I have a Facebook page and I just started an Instagram page because, that's apparently what we're supposed to do. That's really how I've found most of my clients. Honestly, I would say that not a lot of people come to me wanting a different type of style. It's pretty clear this is what I do. And, no one's going to come to me wanting a modern house.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I wish that I had that confidence. You look so young and you've got so much of your life ahead of you and you're starting this business. And I'm oh, if I had only been brave enough to say I only wanted to do cottages and farmhouses, because I can tell you that would be my dream. I wish I'd been brave enough to say, this is what I do and this is what I focus on. Instead, I was taking on projects left, right, and center that were completely unrelated. I hated doing what I was doing. I was doing modern stuff. I love that you've really honed in on that. What advice would you have to somebody who's listening today who has a certain look or a niche that they really want to go after. How can they make that happen?
Don't be afraid of just staying in your lane and focusing on a particular look, a particular style. Ask yourself, like, how do you want people to think of you and think of your business? What do you want them to say about you? I think that would be a really good starting point for people who are unsure of the path they want to take.
So what is your path? So did you go to school for interior design? Maybe tell us a little bit about that. Were you in another industry? Like, what was your path to where you are today?
My path was very straightforward. I went to interior design school. I worked in the industry for a little bit, and then I started my business. So I was getting clients right away. So I was really focused on working in my business versus on my business because I had clients, I had so much going on. Then I would say at the beginning of this year, things really started to shift. It was kind of a turning point for me, and I started to see your course pop up and Power of Process. And that's really when I said, okay, I need to stop working in my business. I really need to think bigger and really design a business around the life I want and actually have it sustainable for me.
I love that. And you took Power of Process this spring, like 2024, right?
That's right. So not too long ago.
I love that you were, this is interesting actually, because I haven't actually, believe it or not, I have not interviewed that many designers who went to school for interior design. Like, there's just not that many of us. And it's interesting because oftentimes we get asked, or I get asked, oh, do I need to go to design school to be a designer? And I always say, no, absolutely not. If you went to interior design school, why did you need Power of Process? Because I think a lot of designers believe that you only need the course if you haven't gone to design school. And I mean, I know the answer, but I'm curious in your opinion.
Well, it's not like you're teaching AutoCAD in Power of Process. I would say that people who have done other things before interior design is amazing, because what I felt like I was lacking is just like general life experience. I just did design school and then started my business. I haven't done anything else. So it's not the same at all. Like, you're learning design and specific things in school, whereas Power of Process, it's the business of design.
Totally. And it's the client side. And I think that's something that is worth noting, that with Power of Process, yeah, it's about systems, about process, but it's so much about how that is perceived by your client. How do you work with clients? How do you handle client objections? How do you level up your level of professionalism so you can charge more money to your clients? I would love to know a little bit more about that experience for you, Anika, like getting your process in order, how it helped your clients, but how did it also help you maybe in some ways that you didn't expect?
Yeah, so it was really surprising when I took your course. I didn't realize everything I would be learning and how it would really benefit me, because I thought it was mostly going to be about helping my clients. So what I really found about your course was it helped my confidence, because at first I didn't have any systems. I didn't really have a clear process. I was definitely making it up as I went, which I guess is fine in the beginning, but there's a point where you need to start doing things differently. So I was taking a course and I started to put together this beautiful proposal document with my process, my steps. Everything was in there. It was super clear. And I also decided to double my price because what I was charging was just not sustainable for me. So I created that document and I sent it out to a client, and they said, sounds good. They signed my contract and we got started.
Okay, hold on a second, Anika. You doubled your prices because of Power of Process?
Yes, because I had a document.
Because you had a document,
yeah.
And you had confidence. And was it partially, did you see what other people were doing? You're like, wait a minute, I could charge more.
That definitely helped as well, because I feel like I was in my own little world out here. And so definitely the community aspect and, having all different types of people from different places, not just in Canada, it really helped me see, what's possible.
I love that. I love that. You doubled your freaking price and the client didn't even say boo.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that just is such a great reminder that we're always so nervous. We have our own sticker shock sometimes, right? We're worried that, oh, if I charge that must be too much. Maybe they won't hire me. But what I love about at least the pop community is you start to see, as you said, you see designers from around the globe, what they're charging. It's like, wait a minute, if those people are charging that,
and I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is the value I have, I can absolutely raise my rates. So I absolutely love that for you. Oh, that's so exciting.
It is.
What advice would you give to designers? Because you mentioned social media just starting right now, and you mentioned the networking. What is your best advice for finding the right clients?
I think now that I started my Instagram account not too long ago, I really feel like it's a huge distraction from what's important and what's actually going to get you money and clients. So I would say to build like local relationships whenever you can, really connect with people as much as you can in person, because after all, we have like local in-person businesses. So I would definitely say that is the biggest thing that I would do.
Wow, wise words. I love that, like I keep saying you're young because you're younger than me. So anyone who's younger than me is like practically a baby and you've got so much ahead of you. I love it. But I love that you have such wisdom. You're so right. It can be such a distraction as much as we love Instagram. And I know designers love it because we're so visual, right?
Exactly.
Focus on local. Like we have locally based businesses. Maybe one day you want to serve global audiences, but start local, get the experience under your belt, build that network. Such wise words, I'm saying, lady. So I would love to just, as we wrap up our time together, I would like to talk a little bit more specifically about Power of Process. And what did you take away from that course, apart from doubling your rate, which I think is amazing? What were some of the other things that you took away from the course that has really made an impact on your business?
I would say that it really forced me to step outside of working in my business and work on my business. So I feel like I'm structuring my days a bit differently now. So before I would just focus on projects, like I would do day in and day out, like AutoCAD, and just really focus on the clients. But now I'm focusing on how I can guide them through the project, different templates I can be sending them, different emails, really making it the best process for them and also for me too, because it wasn't sustainable to just be working like nonstop on projects. Now I feel like it's a lot more clear for me and for my clients.
I love that. Such a smart woman. What would you say to someone who's listening today who wants to take Power of Process, but is on the fence? Maybe because they're worried about the financial investment. Maybe they're worried about the time investment. What would you say to that designer listening today?
Well, for the time investment, I would say that like I notice a lot of people sometimes feel overwhelmed when they have like so much they need to do. But the thing is, you can implement different things at different times in your business. So I'm working on a project right now and I'm still implementing what I learned in your course to modify it and make it better as I go, because it's also easier to do that than to just get it all done at once before you start your business or before you start a project. I wouldn't worry about the time. For sure, it is a little bit of money to enroll in the course, but it's really worth it to invest in your business in this way. And you're going to get it back as soon as you get a project going. So I wouldn't worry too much about that either.
Absolutely, especially if you're doubling your rates. I love
Exactly.
it. It's amazing. Oh, it's been so nice chatting with you. I'm so excited to follow your journey, Anika, and see where you take your business. I picture you like on like one of those TV shows, those farmhouse facelift, right? Like you could be doing farmhouses.
That would be amazing.
I'm going to connect you with someone I know.
Thank you.
I think yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time today. Do you have I didn't really prep you for this. Do you have a last nugget of wisdom for our listeners today?
This is for me to listen to as well. It's just that what got you to where you are might not get you to where you want to go. So you're going to have to do things that maybe feel a bit uncomfortable and out of your element, but that is really the process. And I think that if you can push yourself to do different things, feel a little bit uncomfortable and out of your comfort zone, you're going to start to really go towards that business, creating that business and the life that you really want.
I love that advice. You are wise beyond your years, woman. I love it. Where can everyone find and follow you on this journey?
You can go to my website, anikaschachtlerdesign.com. And if you like social media, you can go to my Facebook page and Instagram. It's Anika Schachtler Design.
Awesome. And we will link to it all in our show notes. You guys can just go and click on the link there and we'll take you to all of things, Anika. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I am still in so much awe of Anika. This woman is going places. I feel bad that my camera wasn't working because I'm at the cottage and the internet was just not strong enough. But you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see her beautiful face. I hope you enjoyed that episode. What was your big takeaway? I can tell you for me, it was, hello, lean into your trades. They are the ones, the contractors and trades, they're working on farmhouses. They know, oh, wait, this is Anika's specialty. I'm going to call her, or you should call her. And I love her wisdom, the wise words about social media versus networking in person and building those relationships. I mean, for somebody who is relatively fresh out of school to already get that is pretty impactful and amazing. I think she's going to be one to watch, guys. But thank you, Anika, for taking the time to join us. If you guys are interested in Power of Process, please go check out RebeccaHay.com/Power of Process. There's a new cohort coming up at the time, if you're listening to this at the time of airing. And I would love to welcome you inside that course. I'm sure alumni like Anika will pop back in. You'll get to ask her questions, but we would love to support you in doubling your revenue as well. I will see you soon. The Resilient by Design podcast is produced by Vera Marquez, edited by Abby Circatella, and hosted by yours truly, Rebecca Hay.